Hey girls, welcome back to another episode of the Go Girl podcast. I'm super excited to have my very first male guest on the show, and he is my loving, supportive, fun, handsome, romantic, I could say all the good things, fiance. Jay, welcome to the show, boo.
Thank you for having me. It's finally it's exciting to have the male takeover of the Girl podcast.
Yeah, first of all, it's not about to be a male takeover. You know what I'm saying? But last week there was like a hard launch on my social medias. Pretty much, if you follow me on social, then you'll see that I'm always posting about Go Girl, about my career, about everything, all things women empowerment. And last week we got engaged. So I'm like, hey, I posted that on social and all of the love has been great and overwhelming. And I just decided this morning, I was like, babe, you want to be on my podcast today so we could talk about our story and how we got engaged and all of that. And he was down. So here we are. Thank you, babe, for coming onto the podcast.
You're welcome.
So, yes, we are engaged. I'm sure some people have some questions. These are all questions from me, though. I didn't go on social to ask what people wanted to know, but I'm pretty sure they want to know, like, how did we meet? So, you want to share that story? Let me hear your version of this.
Yeah, so the way we met is on an app called Hinge, and on Hinge, I tried to make the most authentic profile that I could possibly make to really show all the different facets of my personality. And one of the things I like to do is play the bass guitar, and so I had a video of me playing bass guitar. So, um, you know, Ashley saw that, felt she resonated with the video, and she reached out to me and we started talking since then, and never stopped talking.
Never stop
I,
talking.
yeah, it never stops. And I don't. Let me know if I'm going too far, but we started talking, and one of the things that really, let me know like this was the woman I really wanted was I asked her. I said, "What were some things that what things could you have done in the past?" Um, Incorrectly in a relationship. That was a word salad right there, but basically saying, what could you have done better in your past relationships? And she gave me a list, a couple things that she said she was working on, and to me, that showed accountability. She
Mm-hmm.
told me about some books she read, and I was like, wow, she has accountability. I'm like, that's huge. That goes a long way. I'm like, she's gorgeous, she's smart, she's classy. I like how she holds her glass of wine, and I'm like, like she got accountability. I'm like, that's the triple threat right there. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna not play any games, be serious, and be committed to this and see where it goes. And
And
now we're
and
engaged.
And now we're engaged 2 years later.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, it was a good story. And I saw your profile, and I'm the one who said something first, playing the bass. And I'm like, you know, did you learn this during the pandemic? And he's like, yes. And I was looking for like he had complete sentences, then just answering the questions. And it was like an easy conversation. And then we had the Zoom call, which was like an hour and a half long. And that was a good conversation. Like I started laughing within the first few minutes because he called me out. I said, yeah, I had some alcohol in my cup because we were supposed to do a wine thing. I did not. I had orange juice and he called me out for that. So I just thought that was funny. And so he just showed me his personality. And like you said, I was just straight up from the beginning, like, listen, I got some things I need to work on. I got to work on my communication skills. I'm reading the books. I'm doing the work. And I like that you were attracted to that instead of being like, oh, she got issues or, running from it. But also, like you said, that's what I talk about in the Go Girl podcast all the time. It's like accountability and self-love first. So I'm glad you appreciated that. And then we just started talking ever since then. And it's been beautiful.
Yeah. To me, you can't really have if you can't have healthy communication if there's no accountability. Because when you're trying
Right.
to work through problems and your partner's always trying to push blame off on the other person or on some circumstance or situation, and you can never get to the heart of issues, especially if your partner is the one that's wrong. Sometimes it's going to be us. Sometimes it's your partner, and you have to be able to have those conversations and have them with love, and then be able to say, you know what, my bad. I know I did wrong, and I need to adjust. And so when you showed me that you had accountability, I was like, okay, that is a foundational skill
Yeah.
that's rare, more rare than gold out here. So I'm like, yeah, I'm grabbing on, I'm holding on tight.
And you held on, boo. You held on. You still holding on tight.
I sure am.
And then we had our first date. A week and a half later, we did a few Zoom calls, and then we had our very first date. And it was very cute and romantic. It was a picnic date, and it was supposed to be like 2 hours long. Like we had enough money in the meters for 2 hours, but then we ended up staying there for 6 hours.
She couldn't get enough, y'all. Couldn't get enough. She just kept. She wanted to prolong it as long as possible.
Oh, I did. Okay. No,
Yeah.
we were having a good time. It was like good conversation. The views were nice. We were in Long Beach, and we just were just talking and really getting to know each other. It was sweet. You brought some Mediterranean food. Got a bottle of wine, and we were just soaking it up and like really just getting to know each other. And I was like, he's so nice.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So, and she said, I'm nice. I'm really kind. I'm not that nice.
That's very true.
Yeah.
He's kind. He has his boundaries. Okay. He's going to stick by his boundaries. He's going to speak up if he feels disrespected or anything like that. So it wasn't that it was new to me having such a kind person, like a real kind soul of a man around. And it just felt good. I always felt at ease. I still feel at ease, and I feel safe and protected, and everything just always feels like peaceful with you. So I felt that since day one. And I'm always telling the girls, like, check up on yourself, see how you feel on that first date, third date, whatever. Are you feeling butterflies and anxious, or are you feeling comfortable and able to just easily communicate with the person? So I felt that with you since day one.
And thank you for that. And I want to tell all the ladies, like, when you look at a man, you should look at a man like their energy should be able to be like a foundation of in within the house. If that
Yeah.
energy is off, if that energy is erratic, it
Mm-hmm.
might be fun sometimes, but you can't build a household on that. You can't build a foundation on shaky ground. So the man has to be grounded, and so like Ashley said, I came in there with I'm kind,
Mm-hmm.
but not only am I kind, but you can tell like that I'm a protector and a provider as well. So don't mistake a guy that's kind for a guy that's weak, for a guy
Mm-hmm.
that can't protect and provide for the household. Kindness is actually something that you should look for. You should want a guy that's kind, that a guy that could be gentle with you,
Yep.
um, and appreciate you, and bring out your femininity. It shouldn't be like this hardcore rock all the time. That's not, to me, that's not necessarily masculinity. Masculinity is flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Masculinity can adapt in different situations. And so don't look at it as this rigid thing. If a guy is kind, that doesn't mean he's soft, doesn't mean he's fearful. Um, it just means that he probably has control over his emotions, and he's not going to let certain things get to him. But
Period.
it's my 2
Period.
cents.
And with a woman, like being with a man like that, like you, I'm able to like lean in and trust you to lead. And it does help me soften up. I used to tell Jay all the time, like I used to be really masculine back in my day. Even my girls like, yo, relax a little bit. And now I'm like super like soft and girly and sweet. And he's like, I can't even imagine you being any other way, but I was. But now I'm with someone who's letting me like really I'm just able to pretty much like receive and be in my full feminine essence, and it feels damn good. I feel really relaxed and just able to trust you, and that's why I'm marrying you.
That's beautiful. and she
Oh,
just
you
see
getting
that's that
shy?
masculinity. No, that's that masculinity right there. She said, "That's why I'm marrying you." It's still there. Last night she was telling me, "Make sure you turn the oven on."
Shut up.
Did you turn the oven on? Like, I'm about to roast some sweet potatoes. I know I got to turn the oven on. Thank you, though. I love you. I got this.
Whatever.
I've been cooking for a while.
So I still be, I slip up sometimes, you know what I mean? But, then we talk about it. He's like, yo, I felt some kind of way. I'm like, okay, my bad. But I like that. But I like that you're not afraid to speak up when, it's just like, hey, I got it. I know what I'm doing. So thank you for that. That was another big thing that I loved about that I love about our relationship is our communication. We have great communication. I love that you are always down to resolve issues. Like I know sometimes it was tough in the beginning. I'd be like, yeah, I'm good, I'm fine. Like nothing was bothering me when things were actually bothering me. And the fact that you were able to um, confront those issues instead of being like, all right, well, she said she good, or you get upset too, or something. You're like, no, we need to talk about this and allow me my space. But then we would always come back and resolve things. Like even you might need to take a break sometimes and come back and be like, okay, so what's the solution here? And then we talk and we resolve it.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe a couple months ago where we were talking. I think I told you I'm at my emotional capacity.
Yes.
That's my way of saying I need a break. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we have the. I think what you're explaining is what you're expressing is, when you're committed to a situation, it's not only commitment, but when you have the tools to handle situations and within your relationship, and you have the commitment to have those uncomfortable conversations, it's easy to come back to that place of harmony. So
Yeah.
sometimes we get out of sync, but we know that we know that we're committed. We know that we both love each other. So it's like, okay, there's some static in here right now, but let's talk through the static
Mm-hmm.
to get back to that harmonious state. And so far, we've been really good at doing that and making those talks, like a staple in our relationship. It's like, if I'm tripping, I know I got a conversation coming at me. And I always, like, even when I talk to my mom, it's like, that's the kind of woman I need. I need a woman to let me know when I'm tripping.
Straight
And
up.
you're not afraid to let me know when I'm tripping. And it's vice versa. So it's really good. It's not like buried emotions that are just there and all of a sudden it comes out. It's like we have conversations that kind of hash these things out. So little issues don't turn into big issues.
That part. And we talk about the real issue because a lot of times, whatever you're arguing about is not really what it is. We get a little deeper, like, okay, where is this coming from?
Yep.
And so I love that about us. But we've been having, what I say too, in the beginning of getting to know each other, even before being in a committed relationship, we had a lot of open and honest conversations. And I think that's important. I might have to bring you on another day to talk about like conversations to have before marriage or whatever, because like we talked about finances, we were talking about how would we discipline children, we talked about like religion, we talked about, okay, is me time important to you, like all these things that people kind of run away from in the beginning of a relationship. And we weren't even in a relationship yet, and we were bringing it up because I just wanted to put it all out there, like, look, this is who I am, take it or leave it. You were like, this is who you are. We were very vulnerable.
Yeah, I think the key to that is knowing who you are. When you know who you are and you're comfortable in it, it's easy to express that and say, okay, this is who I am. I'm the best me, and I'm going to present this to this other person and see if they like it or not. And
Yeah.
that's what we did. We just said, hey, this is our best us. We have not, no point in my life, like when I met you, at no point in my life was I better than at that point. And I was
Mhm.
confident in that. And I was confident of where my life was going, the trajectory of it. I knew my values. I knew what I would tolerate, what I wouldn't tolerate, and I knew
Yep.
what I could provide. So I was like, just here I am. And then I'm letting you know, hey, my favorite color is red. I like mustard on my hot dogs.
It's trying to be like me,
And
but go off.
yeah, one one. And it just made it easy because we put who we were on the table, no games. And then we were able to look at that and say, hey, I think this works. And
Yeah.
it's been working.
It's been working. And also, like, just not having everybody in your business for the very first month, I didn't really tell people about you. I was like, I'm going on a date. And that's it. That's all you need to know, because sometimes people get in your ear and cloud your judgment or tell you what you should ask the new person you're dating, or, oh, are you going to see them again? They're just all in it. And I wanted to be as present as possible. And I wanted to speak from me and what I want to know rather than what friends and family want to know about this new person I'm dating and stuff. You know what I mean? So I was able to just really show up as my authentic self, and you like received all of me, even if we're rapping ain't no fun, if the homies can't have none while we're like driving on freeway and I'm not being judged for it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I've always felt like you just never judged me and like fully accepted me and my whole personality. And I think that's why it's been easier just to be with you too, because you just let me be me.
I think that's a funny point that you brought up because you were insecure about how I would respond to you turning up to "It Ain't No Fun," and then when I put it on and we started riding out to it, you were like,
Yeah.
"Okay, this is
Yeah.
comfortable." Because just so you guys know, like on our first date, I showed up with some chino shorts, like some boat shoes, and a polo shirt. So she didn't really know how to play me. She like, I don't know what kind of dude
different
this is
different than my
quite yet.
normal type. And that's why I tell people maybe like date outside your type. I always like I've never okay, babe, sorry. But I always like nerds with swag. And but I've never dated one. And so then when we met, he had the glasses and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. He got the whole Malcolm X vibe. He had a whole Malcolm X picture in his apartment, y'all. Now it's in our place. Hey, hello. But he had like the big glasses. I was like, oh, okay. But totally different, like than I'm used to with the LA style. So yeah, that was his style on the first date. And I'm just like, I don't know, a little preppy for me, but we gonna see. And go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
No, and no nerd with swag to me is a compliment. You know,
Oh, okay.
they
Yeah.
that kept me out of county jail. So
All
I
right, I know
come
that's
from
right.
East Side Long Beach, so yeah, being a nerd with swag helped me a lot in my life. But yeah, sometimes you might see someone that might not 100% be you what you have in your mind, or
That's
sometimes
what
you
you're
just gotta,
used to.
yeah, or what you're used to. But you gotta understand the core values you're looking for,
That part.
and then have those conversations to see if that person meets those qualifications that you may have. And so that's what she did. She knew what she was looking for in a man. The visual was slightly different, but all the core values are there. And so
Yeah, all the core values, and you handsome, and I love everything about you, baby.
thank you.
So okay, so we're gonna move forward. So how did you know that I was the one? You've mentioned some things before, but just a couple of things.
But yeah, so how I knew she was the one. It's hard, and this might not be the best answer, but I knew the second I saw her. I was like, yeah, that's what I was like. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Like, I just knew it. Like, being like 35 at the time, I had a lot of life, I had a lot of experience. So I knew what I didn't like, and I knew what I was looking for. And I saw her, I was like, that's what I'm looking for.
Mm.
And so when I knew she was the one immediately, and then she just constantly reinforced it. It was like, okay, the accountability, one,
Right.
the aesthetics, that's two, the
Aesthetics.
intelligence, the ability to have a good conversation and maintain a good conversation. That was another one. Being goal oriented, that was another thing because I'm very ambitious.
Yeah.
Not only am I ambitious and just thinking of things, I'm an executor. So I'll think of something and do it. And so I
Hmm.
saw that she was equally ambitious. So I'm like, okay, this is good. All the things that I knew that I needed in a woman were there. And then she had the balance of being a strong woman, but like a strong woman in a more traditional sense. Not a strong woman as in she's trying to compete with me. She's
Hmm.
trying to bring masculine energy in the house and trying to compete with my masculinity. Strong. She was strong in a traditional feminine role. And hey, this is a strong man. This is a workhorse. he can help us get to where we need to get to.
Yep.
Let me lock in with this man. Let me support him. And she showed me all of that, and I'm like, this is the one. And
Oh.
and just to put out there, it's like the support goes both ways. It's not where she has to lock into my plan, and then there's no space for her and her plan. I feel like as a man, it's on me to make sure that I'm meeting everybody's emotional needs and what have you within the household. So it goes both ways. But she didn't have that mentality where she's trying to challenge me. And
Right.
I've experienced that many of times in the past where it was always someone trying to challenge my masculinity, trying to talk to me like they were a man, and it's never going to work. When
Mhm.
you try to come to a man with masculine energy, the only men you're going to be able to keep are the mama's boys, because they're comfortable with a woman dominating them and controlling them. But
Mm.
when you got a real masculine man that can get the job done, and you come to them like a man, it's never going to work.
Yep.
He might as well. If he wanted a man, he would date a man. So
Not gonna work, ladies.
yeah, it's not going to
Relax a
work.
little bit. Only if he's worth it, though.
Yeah,
And I like
exactly.
that you talked about the support and everything, because I definitely feel that. First of all, you're on the Go Girl podcast right now, first male guest. Like, definitely, this is support, but you show support in so many ways. We both just did an event, had a booth set up. You had one set up, I had one set up. We both have done a lot together. We've stayed up to 1, 2 in the morning. You supported me through some courses and everything. So the support is there. Your consistency has been amazing since day one. So that's how I knew you were the one. I'm like, oh, he's still the same way. Like, we still communicate in a healthy way. He's still respecting me. It's 2 years later. He's still, because I was a we'll see girl for like 6 months. I'm like, I don't know, we'll see. He'll tell me things and plans, and I'm like, we'll see. Because I was just really watching his actions instead of just his words. And it was consistent over time and time and again. He always showed up. If he said he's going to be somewhere, call, do this, do that. And I watched that. And he's been very consistent and still is. So again, that's why we're here. And that's why you're on my podcast right now, babe.
Woo
Appreciate
woo.
you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. I saw the Go Girl book yesterday.
He's on a gut. I was talking to thank you. And I love how you shouted yourself out. But I was talking to one person at the table about the Go Girl Guidebook, and she bought it. And while I'm doing that, I'm overhearing him. He's talking to another lady about the Go Girl Guidebook. So as soon as I was done, then I talked to her, and then so boom, like we're just selling them because you were out there supporting and helping. So thank you for that. Okay, so I do want to say too, like, how people think healthy relationships are boring and stuff, but I feel like we have a lot of fun. Like, that doesn't even apply to us. And I think when people say they're boring, it's more so of they're looking for like an emotional roller coaster. They like the ups and downs, the toxicity. But I always say, well, I'm trying to get on a real roller coaster. Like, we go to Magic Mountain and stuff over here. We ain't trying to be on no emotional stuff. Like, we are serious, and we are okay with having real fun, not fun like break up to make up fun. So healthy relationships are not boring if you're putting in that effort to have some type of fun. Those date nights, all of that is important. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think part of that is a lot of people are shallow. And I
Mm,
hate to go that route, but like if your relationship, they always say a relationship should make life easier, not harder.
yes.
But some people's lives, I feel like there's not a lot of activity in their lives.
Hmm.
So that up and down roller coaster of the relationship is that spice in their life.
Mm,
And when the relationship, when there's no drama in the relationship, they're just sitting around drinking Mountain Dew, eating Cheetos, and nothing else is going on. You know, and so with us, it's like we take we like we have our date nights. We like trying new things, trying new recipes. We like
yep.
traveling.
Traveling, yep.
Uh, you know, uh, so we've been to Mexico twice, I believe now. We've been to Hawaii. Um, We've been
Vegas a
to
few times, San Diego a few times, Palm Springs a few times. Like,
exactly.
yeah, I got him on his first cruise, on the first date. We were in Long Beach and looking at the cruise ships, and I'm like, you know what, you gotta go on one day. And he's looking like, little did I know. He was thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna go on one day, and we did later that
Okay.
year.
And we've been on two since then.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of excitement. And then we're running businesses. So we have
Hmm.
a lot of excitement in our life. So if we had a roller coaster relationship, it would get in the way of all the fun
Yeah.
and the business. It will actually mess things up. So if you don't have, it's my opinion, but if you don't have anything going on, that relationship drama is the thing that's going on. You
Yeah.
got to get some business about yourself. And like right now, like our harmony state allows us to continue for everything else. Like our relationship is just the foundation of
Hmm.
everything else we got going on in our worlds. And so we need to, when we keep it like this, everything else can stack on top of it easily. But
Yep.
when a relationship's like this, everything else suffers.
Yep.
So my 2 cents would be, if you like drama, if you think you need drama in your life and in your relationship, you need to sit down with somebody and like really understand what the crux of that is, because it's not that you like drama. It might be that you have been taught,
Hmm.
whether directly or indirectly, that drama is what makes a relationship. And I have a lot of that in my family. Like some of my family, generation back, there was a lot of dysfunction and drama, and the generations that came out of that internalized that and said, "Oh, relationship equals drama." And
Hmm.
so when they got in relationships, there was drama, and then they had kids, and when their kids, my cousins believe that relationship equal drama. It just goes generation after generation. So my mom said, I'm not going to pass that down. That dysfunction stops here. And
Yeah.
so when my mom was raising me, she raised me completely different than how she was raised. She raised me, she told me, you're going to be a businessman, you're a smart man, you ain't like these gangsters out here. And it totally put my life on the trajectory it is. And I thank my mom for that, for being the one that said, I'm going to break, I don't like this term, but the generational curse. She said,
Hmm.
I'm breaking that with my sons. And she did that. And I thank my mom to the heavens and above, because I would not be where I'm at right now in life without my mom having that visionary view of how she was going to change my life and how she was going to, the canvas she was going to paint my life on.
I love that. Hey, mom. His mom is so dope. I love that the families get together. Our mothers have been in Hawaii together. You get along so well with my dad. Like, I'm like, how do you talk to my dad again and see him again before I do? But I love the relationship we have and the relationship that our families have with each other. So before we get out of here, I'm pretty sure people want to know what happened. How did you pop the question? And we're going to tell your face. We're going to tell the real story. I've been given like a PG version. I mean, it's PG, but I've been given, a sweet version to coworkers and stuff. But friends and family know what's real. So how did you pop the question, babe?
All right, so I had this ring on me. So I had the ring for about a month. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pop the question when we're in Las Vegas. So I had a couple of things set up, and things just kept not working out. And so I had it in my pocket the whole
Hmm.
entire time. Um, so basically, the way I proposed was we were out and about. It was a long night, and we were like, hey, we had this beautiful, like spacious hot tub in our room in the hotel room. It was like right next to the bed. It was awesome. And so we were like, hey, let's just go back and relax. We're gonna make some mimosas and we're just gonna
Hmm.
chill out. We've been walking, we've been out. I think we did, it was the night we went. I
We
think we
went
maybe
clubbing
went.
that night.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
went to club. So we up in our upper 30s. So you start clubbing. The bottom of your feet start hurting. So we're like, let's
Right.
go back. Let's chill in the hot tub. And so I was trying to I wanted to propose in front of the Bellagio fountains, but they closed. I'm like, man, they're
I
closed.
know. I feel so
So
bad because before we went to the club too, he was like, "Babe, you want to go over there?" I just was not honestly. And you were asking, "How are you feeling, babe?" I'm like, I'm a little uncomfortable because it was cold in Vegas. We walked to the club from our hotel like 10, 15 minutes. I'm in heels. I'm not feeling super cute, like clubbish. So I'm like, no, let's just go to the club. But I did not know he had a plan to propose in front of the fountain. That was so oops, messed up my proposal. Go ahead.
yeah, so she was really not with it. So what I did is when we got back to the hotel room, we set everything up, get the ambiance where it needs to be, got the drinks poured. And so she was eating a bag of chips. So I put the ring in the bag of chips. So I'm like, she's gonna get the bottom of the chips, she's gonna see the ring, and bam. So I was like, I wanted to have it make it suspenseful, have it be a surprise. So she's eating the chips, and like she's halfway through the bag, and she's like, you know what, I'm done with these chips. And I'm like, man,
I'm messing it
I'm
up
like the
again.
universe. I like the universe is bugging me right now. So what I did is I grabbed the bag of chips and I put the ring closer to the edge of the bag of the chips, and she pulled out one of the big chips. And when she pulled out the big chip, the ring was on there. And then I proposed to her there in the hot tub.
In the hot tub, yeah. You were like, babe, grab the big chip. I'm like, okay. So I was like, are you serious? So I was kind of laughing, but I also was crying because the proposal was happening. And then of course
And
I said yes, of course.
yeah, the thing is we were kind of like um when we tell the story, everybody's like, "Oh, there was hanky panky going on," like,
Right.
and it's
No.
like, no, it was really innocent. We was chilling in the hot tub. We was
Yeah.
at a club listening to the top 40, and the DJ was going from
Boom, boom,
EDM to
boom.
Lil Jon to R&B song.
Over
The,
it.
the DJ, it was like, I'm like, I'm too old for this. It's too many different genres. I'm
Yeah.
finally getting my two-step going, and she changed the genre. So so we were
Yeah.
really just chilling in the hot tub, having a good time, enjoying each other's company,
Right.
and I proposed.
Yeah. I was just relaxing and telling you, this because we got in the hot tub the night before too. So I'm like, this has been my favorite moment. Just us in the hot. I'm a quality time person, in case you all don't know. It's one of my top love languages. And so I just like spending time with Jay. Like we just always have good times with each other. So I'm in a hot tub and I'm like, this is my favorite moment. Us just relaxing, chilling, it's therapeutic. And then that's when I think it registered in his mind, like, ooh, well, let me do this now. This is a good moment. So it got done in a hot tub. All right. It was still PG. We were just in a hot tub. So let
Yeah,
y'all
and
mind wonder. We were good.
that's that's facts though, because like I'm impatient.
Yeah.
I'm super impatient, and so I was already tired of just ring gate at this point.
Ring
I'm
gate.
like, I'm like, I'm trying to propose, it's not working out. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm like, I don't want this to go another day.
Yeah.
And then I had it hidden on the side of the hot tub,
Mhm.
and I'm like, if the moment's right, I'll do it. And then when she was like, this is my favorite time of the night, just being here with you, Jay. I'm like, okay, that's it. That's it.
That's how I
That
sound.
set the tone. Yeah, I was like, okay, I can do this now. She'll appreciate it here. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be a spectacle.
Yeah.
Um, you got to you jumping out a helicopter on one arm, like Mission Impossible. Hey, I want to marry you.
It was nice, sweet, romantic, intimate, and it was just us. So I loved it, babe. And of course, I do. I love you, and I'm so excited and can't wait to do this life with you and keep building with you.
I love you too, babe.
Oh, and speaking of building, I see all the 6 zeros on you. Before we get out, just let me know a little bit about your business.
So
Let the listeners know.
yeah, so my business is 6zeros.net. It's where the Black community taps into unfiltered and authentic conversations on the topics we know and love. So we have a social media platform. Go check us out, tap in, join the conversation. It's a safe space for us. So you don't have to worry about like issues you would typically experience on mainstream platforms. A lot of times there's a lot of unseedy conversation. uncomfortable conversations. So we make this a really safe space for us to talk to one another, to cooperate and collaborate with one another. So definitely tap in with us at 6zeros.net. That's the number six, zeros.net. The app is available in the Google Play and the Apple App Store right now. Download it, register, sign up, and enjoy.
Yes, he built an app, y'all. My man built an app. Oh, my fiance, hey fiance, built an app. Okay, that's huge. You just slid past that, like and then this is in the app store. You know what I mean? No, you created this app. So congratulations on that, y'all. Make sure to tap in, download the app 6zeros, and get on 6zeros.net. All right. Thanks, Boo, for coming on to the Go Girl podcast. Congrats, you made it through the first episode with a male on here, and I'm excited. I'm gonna have you back. I gotta have you back. We gotta have some more conversations.
Can I have a parting thought?
Go ahead, have your parting thought.
To all the ladies out there, listen. Like Ashley gives a lot of real advice, but she lives it, and just don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to be feminine in a relationship. Don't be afraid to let a man lead.
Yep.
See, what happens a lot of times in life, we get hurt and then we withdraw. But when we withdraw and we keep these guards up, it stops us from getting what we want. Because when we come across that the person that can provide us what we want, we're guarded and we're closed off, and we're not giving them what they need for us to get what we want. So just understand that you need to learn how to qualify the man. Qualify the man, and this is to take it back a step. If you have anything of value, people are going to try to use you.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to qualify people to see who is worthy of your time and who is not. And so you need to learn how to vet men and determine, is this man qualified for my time or not? So you have to ask the right questions, as Ashley said. She was asking me questions and then looking at my actions and seeing if there was consistency there.
Yep.
Like a lot of times they say, wait 90 days, but if you're waiting 90 days, what are you doing in that 90 days? Are you asking that man real questions? What are your goals? What are your ambitions? What do you want? Where are you going to be in 5 years? What do you want out of life? What are your values? If you're not having those conversations, then you're not really qualifying that man. Make sure you're qualifying that man, because a lot of times what happens is you don't properly qualify the man, but then you give your all to the man and then you get let down. And life's not perfect. Sometimes we're going to give ourselves to people that are not worthy of us. There's sometimes in the beginning they might be worthy of us, but things change throughout the relationship. But we just got to remember, let's not let the bad situations harden us or change us to the point that we cannot function in healthy situations. Sometimes our dysfunctions hurt us in healthy situations. I've been there. I've been out of bad breakups and had my mind gone. And it's like, I told myself, I have to heal. If I don't heal, I'm just going to hurt other people because I'm hurt and I'm broken in the inside. And so we all have to do that. Make sure you take time to heal yourself. Make sure you're the best you possible. And then once you have that complete package that's confident, that knows where she's going, then when you meet that man, qualify him. Make sure he earns your time and your affection. Put him through the ringer. Because men, we're the workhorse. We're gonna get it done for you, but just make sure that man is qualified. If he's not qualified, throw him to the side. That's my parting thought.
That's a parting thought, but wait, I got to bring it back now real quick. One point you said, because I'm not in, and this is what I was so attracted to in the beginning too, of getting to know you, was that you brought up that you had been to therapy before. And I know that just now you were talking about like being heartbroken before and you had to heal from it. And we don't talk about men healing that much. Like there's so many like Go Girl. There's so many podcasts and women telling other women like heal, heal, heal. But we also need to talk to the fellas. So I want to know, like, what steps did you take to heal?
Well, it was the first step to healing was recognizing that I needed to heal.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first step, learning that, hey, something's wrong. I need to be able to talk through my feelings. I told myself I needed an emotional technician. So I called it that. I said, I need an emotional technician. I need someone that really understands emotions to be able to explain to me what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, why are certain things triggering me. So that was step one. And then two was actually finding that person that will be able to fulfill that role of emotional technician to hear me out. And then it was going to that person, taking notes, and then actually putting into practice the advice they were giving me. So
And are you talking about your
it,
therapist?
yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So when I was looking for a therapist, I didn't say a therapist. I said emotional technician. I'm
Okay.
like, I have emotional issues right now. I need a technician to help me work through this. So
Right.
yeah, so it's going to the therapist, going to the therapist consistently, and then put in their recommendation into play.
Yeah.
You have to take it serious. You can't just go and think that things are going to change. I had to go and I had to put in the work to make sure that I was rebounding from a traumatic situation I was in.
Yeah. That's important. You have to do the work, ladies and fellas. You got to do the work. And I think that's why we get along so well. I've been in therapy. I'm in therapy. You've gone to therapy before. Even the very first Zoom conversation when I was telling him I used to have communication issues and I'm working through it. And I used to just be quiet when someone would, when I needed to bring something up. And he's like, oh, so stonewalling. I was like, oh, he knows some stuff. Okay. So, I just knew that he had been on a path of healing before, doing some type of work before, like knowing the terms and everything. I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. So yeah, I love you. I'm glad that you healed. I'm glad that I've healed. There are things that I've needed to work on because when you're in a relationship, sometimes you do get triggered in ways and you don't know sometimes until you're in a relationship. It could be healthy,
Yes,
it could be a healthy relationship, but you'll still get triggered until you work through some stuff. So I've worked through some stuff, and I'm grateful for my therapist, and I'm glad that you worked through some stuff too, and we're working on things together.
absolutely. And as men, sometimes when we get out of our relationships, they tap your pockets too. So you got to heal your pockets and your mind.
Oh. Anyway, all right, babe. Well, I love you. I thank you so much for being on the podcast. I'll have to have you back because you speak a lot of words of wisdom, and yeah, I'll get you on again. Okay. Thank you for being on the Go Girl podcast. You go,
Thank
boy.
you. It was a pleasure. Love you.
I love you
Bye.
too. Bye.